Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru.
Who comes first, Siddhartha or Viveka? In the order of…
Vivek.
the order of things, first Siddhartha was born, it took much time to Vivek to be born.
But we are in the modern
You
world.
reversed the order today.
Sadhguru, we are very honored to speak to you this afternoon. Last time you came to Dubai, Sadhguru, you came in a motorcycle. This time, would a driverless car, if you're welcomed in that, would you enjoy?
Someday, in case I become handicapped completely, then I'll get into that car. Otherwise, I would prefer to drive.
Yes, Sadhguru, we are of course very excited to have you here in Dubai, and you have so many of your followers, so many people just waiting, to get into the session with you. And let's remind everybody, Meet, Mingle and Meditate, 9th of December. It's happening at the Coca-Cola Arena. 12,000 people are going to be getting together, and they are going to meditate, and it's going to be a session hosted by you. The first question that comes to mind about the event is that 12,000 people meditating together, is that possible, or how does that work?
12,000 is not such a big number. That arena is only that much, otherwise even if there are a million people, we'll make them meditate.
What can people expect from that event?
If they don't expect anything, very easily I'll make them meditate. If they expect something, I'll have to work for some time to get their expectations down before they can meditate. Because once you set up an expectation, all you will have is a diarrhea of thought process. So, the most important thing is to simply be there and very easy to make it happen. Because to be meditative is not some circus. To be meditative is very natural for a human being. That is, if you are a human being. I'm not trying to be insulting, all I'm saying is, if you become just one big psychological mess, then meditation looks like an impossible thing. If you're a human being, to be is very natural, isn't it? So, this is what we want to take them to make them into the life that they are, not a mess of thought and emotion that they are. Because we must determine what should be the nature of our thought and emotion. Right now, people's thought and emotion is determining what kind of people they are right now. This is just reverse. As you said, these are modern times, we are all playing it reverse hodgepodge. That's not going to work. Then everything becomes unnecessary suffering. People are complaining about stress, anxiety, depression, and people are going about now saying these are all normal things. No, when you were a child, joy was normal. When did depression become normal? When did unhappiness become normal? When did stress become normal? No, unfortunately, we have mixed up a few things within us. So meditation, to meet, to mingle and to meditate is to sort these things out within ourselves so that being joyful is a natural process in your life. That's what should happen to every human being, that's the whole effort.
That's amazing. I mean, we can't wait for that event, and what you're saying is very important because, when you think of meditation, there is a certain weight, that people associate with it. So shed all expectation, shed all weight, and then come for this event on the 9th at the Coca-Cola Arena.
No, there is no weight. Weight is also assumed by them. Where is the weight on your head? How much hair do you have? I don't see much. Only if you are a Gautam Siddhartha, then there was more weight on his head, but you don't have any weight. Weight is also imagined. So essentially, human beings have learnt or unfortunately not learnt how to handle their memory and imagination. Once you are a human, you have a very vivid sense of memory, which gives you a fantastic sense of imagination. Most of the time, that's what human beings are suffering. Right now, what do people suffer? What happened 10 years ago, they're still suffering. What may happen day after tomorrow, they're already suffering. This is not life. You're suffering your memory and imagination, two most important faculties which makes you human, and that's what you're suffering. And it took millions of years of evolutionary work to get you to this place of cerebral capability, and you suffer that. No, this cerebral capability is the greatest gift that we have. This massive memory that we have is a fantastic thing. This imagination that we have is the basis of all that we do in the world, but that is what human beings are suffering. It's very important we get things into natural order of life. First, your being, then we are how you are, if that is determined, then what you do will naturally determine itself. Based on what you do, what needs to happen will happen. But right now, you want something to happen, so you do that, and because of that you become something. It's a reverse order of life. It will never work like that. Just imagine, you want to die first, then from old man you want to shrink slowly and become a baby and be born. Is it going to work like that? There are movies like this that are you're born as an old person and then slowly become an infant. That's not how life works. If we are not in the natural line of how life works, life will crush us, that's all. This crushing, you may call it as stress, anxiety, misery, this, that, whatever. Essentially, the simple process of life is crushing you. The cycles of life are such, if you learn to ride it, everything is fantastic. If you are stuck in the cycles of life, it's a bit of a circus, but you manage. But if you're crushed by it, it's a horrible experience. These are the three ways you can live your life. Either you can be crushed by it, or you can be trapped within the cycles, or you can ride the cycle and have a fantastic experience. These are the three options that is there before every human being. So what we are looking at is to give enough awareness, to give enough consciousness within a human being so that they make the right choice. What's your choice?
My choice is to live a very happy, joyful
No, no,
life
no.
that you have.
You want to ride the cycle of life, or trapped in it, or crushed
Ride,
by it?
Right, it's like,
Right.
ride the
yes.
cycle.
That is called as viveka.
This is so amazing. Sadhguru, in Dubai, we recently had a very big gathering of people running on Sheikh Zayed Road, an iconic place. Fitness is one of the most primary things that the leaders are visioning for this region. Your thoughts on that, on motivating everyone to take care of their health?
Yes, it's very important, because if you do not even know how to keep your body and your mind, what will you do? What can you do in this world if you do not know how to address the well-being of your body and the well-being of your mind? So, this is the fundamental, one simple fundamental of the yogic sciences, how to keep your physical body and your mind in their best possible way. What does best possible way mean? When you sit here, your body should not be an issue, your mind should not be an issue, you should not be an issue in your life. Only when you are not an issue, you can address any issue in the world. When you yourself are an issue, how will you do anything significant in this world? So this is the first thing that every human being must do, that your body, your mind, your emotion, your energies, you as a life is never the problem in your life. Then we can address all the other problems in the world to the best of our ability.
Right, sir. There's also, in Dubai, we are all here, of course, primarily to work. हम सब यहाँ पे काम करने के लिए आते हैं. And there's that very important debate that's happening these days about work-life balance, right? Because so Narayan Murthy sir has said that young people should be ready to work for 70 hours a week, and a 7-day work week. And Bill Gates says it should be 3 days, not 7 days. And Shashi Tharoor commented very recently. Where do you stand on this? How much work is too much work, and how does one get that very important, crucial work-life balance, Sadhguru?
See, how much work is too much work? There's no such thing. If you're doing something that you really love to do, if you're creating something that truly matters, if you realize that what you're doing is very significant, 70 hours is too little per week. Why should it be only 70? Why should you even define it like that? That is, if you are creating what really matters to you and to everybody around you, why should it be defined by hours? It should not be defined by hours. But if you are working only to earn a living, then of course you will always see how to reduce the hours. So probably Narayan Murthy said 70 hours because India is still a developing nation and we want to build this nation. There is a lot to be done. Still 400 to 500 million people are not getting their basics. If all of them have to get their basics in this lifetime, in our generation, then we need to do a lot of things. We can't be thinking about how to rest. we should be thinking about how to work and how much to do. This is how all nations have been built. Today Dubai is comfortable, you're talking, but that generation will build Dubai, you think they worked only 6 hours a day and only 5 days in a week? No. Right now, United States is one of the richest nations on the planet. You just ask the previous generations how they worked. They all worked 12, 14 hours a day and they built a great nation. Now we are all talking about how to work less. Well, it is not about how much, how many hours you do. The question is, how do you address work? First of all, why are you doing something that you don't care about? If you're doing something that you care about, why should anybody define the number of hours? You will do the best that you can do. If everybody is doing the best they can do in their lives without dragging their feet on what they are doing, the dragging feet only happens because you think you're doing something for somebody. You're not doing something that's significant to you and to everything around you. So this is the whole problem. People are trying to make a living. Once you have come as a human being, survival is not the focus of your life. You should not be working for a living. You must make a life out of this. Whatever you do is your life. Where is work and life? That means 8, 10 hours a day you don't live. Another 8 hours you sleep. When do you live? What is that? Work and life, what is that? If your work is not life, why are you doing it? I'm saying, once you are born here as a human being, you should do only life. And everything that you do should matter to life, this life and every other life. That is when nobody has to define your work hours. To the best of your ability you will do. Every human being should be working to their full potential, not counting how many hours should I work and not work.
Last year when you had come, Save Soil campaign, Sadhguru, I must say that, we see so much of improvement here in UAE. Nobody would have ever expected that there would be so much of greenery. It's again the vision of the leaders to make it so, green all over. Your thoughts on that, Sadhguru?
See, the advantage, like though we wouldn't, take to that kind of administration, but the advantage of such an administration is, once it makes sense to the leader, it will happen. But now if we have to do something in India now, for 542 people we have to make sense, which is very difficult, all right? That is the parliament size, I'm saying. Not only that, there are many layers of administration, it has to make sense to all of them. By the time it makes sense to all of them, it usually is pretty late to do any action. So that's an advantage that Dubai has and made full use of that advantage very wonderfully well. And also it's not only the greenery that you see, they took this step, a small nation like that, to host COP28 and be the prime place. And a desert nation taking COP28 as an important part is very important. And they have also responded very wonderfully to Save Soil movement. Not only them, across the world there's been a great response. Before the Save Soil movement, starting on March 21st in 2022, before that, there was no mention of soil in climate change issues and all these other issues concerned with climate. But today, European Union has declared soil regeneration is an important part of climate mitigation. And almost all the countries are in tune with that. Today, that is why in the COP28, soil has become an important thing. You must understand this. Whoever is thinking of working less, I'm telling all of them, in 100 days in 100 days, just one man, of course there was a supporting teams all over and volunteers, millions of volunteers responded, but still with one person, you can change the narrative on the planet towards a solution. If everybody stands up, it's nothing. All problems can be just solved, because all problems were created by us. It is not that we cannot solve them. What is needed is, people have to pick up what matters to them and stand up and make it happen. So that's what is important. Fortunately, many people across the world, thousands of people even today, in various platforms are still pushing the Save Soil movement, which is a wonderful thing. Youth have stood up in a big way, governments have realized and taking those steps. I have no doubt whether it'll happen or not, whatever we are aiming at, 3 to 6% organic content, it will definitely happen. Only problem is the pace. Will we do it in time? Will we wait for disasters to happen and then correct it, or will we do it in time? So it is for us to decide what kind of generation are we. Are we that generation who will walk into disasters and then regret it? Or are we that generation who are conscious enough to mitigate the disaster, never walk into a disaster and make sure that the future generations don't have to suffer this? This is the choice that we have. This is our time on the planet. I think we should mitigate the disaster, not walk into it. Let's make it happen.
Right, Sadhguru, but on a personal note, 5 years ago I had like a really bad personal tragedy. And it was, through your words and, what watching your videos that I was actually able to
I
get
didn't
out
know
of
I
that.
was causing tragedies, I'm sorry.
No. I mean, once the tragedy occurred, I, kind of listened to your videos and your words, and it actually helped me get out of or kind of deal with it or get my mind back in order. So, on a personal front, thank you very much. I mean, it's an opportunity for me to kind of personally thank you, and all the meditation and the techniques that actually you spoke about. In my small way, I tried to implement them. So, coming back to meditation, and what's going to happen on the 9th at the Coca-Cola Arena, 12,000 people meditating. If there is, I mean, of course, it's difficult, but if there's one for people who are thinking about meditation and who are thinking about coming to that event, if there's one thing about meditation that you'd like to tell, especially the youth, encourage them to get out there, what would that one thing be?
See, youth means you're still yet to explore life, don't come with too many conclusions. The way to come is like how a child goes to the first day school, like that you come. That means you have no idea what it is. You might have heard about meditations, you might have read about meditations, maybe you practice other forms of meditation. Whatever you know about it, all your knowledge, you leave it at home, just come, simply. Like you're going to a suspense thriller movie, you don't know nothing about it, you go sit there. Just come like that, very easy to make you meditate. But if you come with lot of conclusions, and ideas and opinions about it, then by the time we remove it, 5 hours may be over.
Super.
It has
Thank
been an
you.
absolute honor, Sadhguru. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much for
much.
your
Thank you
time
very
and for
much.
speaking to us. Thank you very
Namaskaram.
much.
See you soon. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.